Welcome back to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our watch club for Marvel's Miss Marvel. I don't know, but I'd like to think that two people fell in love and created something. Something much bigger than either of them would have ever created alone. Welcome to Watch Club. My name is Nate, and this is our Watch Club for Miss Marvel Episode 5, titled Time and Again, directed by Charmin Obaid-Chinoy. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Watch Club, our weekly review series, kind of like a book club, but way better. Keep in mind, we will be going into full spoilers for this series and the MCU in general, so if you haven't watched this week's episode yet, be sure to do so, and come right back in a snap. Now, before we all go back in time to see what our secret grandma did, let me introduce you to my cosmic besties who are joining me today. First up, she's magical, mystical, marvelous, and a huge fan of Mephisto. She's Megan Clara. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I love that that's my MO now, literally.
Yeah, at least for your M to the O to the Ephisto. Yes, we'll at least for this watch club, we switch it up every now and then, right? I'm sure for Bad Batch we'll have to get your TK number back up and going again. But
totally.
Yeah. And joining us once again for her second time on the podcast. She's a joyous, jubilant, jacket-wearing lover of Jarvis. She's Jo from Video Dames, the podcast. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, I love that alliteration.
I was looking for J words, and I thought you do wear a lot of jackets. I've seen you wear jackets all the time.
I get cold often.
Yeah, and what are your feelings towards Jarvis? You dig Jarvis? Do you miss Jarvis? Do you wish Jarvis would come back?
I do miss Jarvis, but I do like the acronym Friday. I think that's cool, too.
Friday's a good one, too. Well, I'm stoked to have both of you on for this penultimate episode. Before we kind of dive in, I would love to know, obviously, Meg, we had you on the first episode of our podcast. But Jo, for our listeners listening, what have you been thinking of this series so far before we get to this episode? What do you think of Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking as like a brown girl, not from Jersey City, but just in general, I always love to see representation of other people of color on TV, especially in like superhero form. The first thing when I saw that she was announced, I was like, oh, someone I can cosplay as and like not feel weird.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, you'd rock that cosplay. I think you could definitely pull that one off. Meg, who would we get you in for cosplaying alongside her? I guess it would be, who would we get you as? What's her
Brian.
name?
Am I going to be Zoe?
Zoe. You'll be Zoe Zimmer. Yeah.
And
then
then
I'm
Captain
my
Marvel cosplay. Cosplaying as Zoe Zimmer, cosplaying as Captain Marvel.
That
would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. I think I would just wear Muniba's Hulk outfit. I think would be my cosplay.
Genius.
I would wear the Hulk outfit that that she makes for Kamala. I think I would look amazing in it.
Would you be Big Hulk or Little Hulk?
I would definitely be Big Hulk. I'd have to find a little Hulk to bring along with me for sure. And I love how Taisha's younger brother at the wedding is wearing that exact outfit at the wedding. It's just so beautiful. There's so many beautiful things about this series. But yeah, Jo, you were saying you've been enjoying it. You've been enjoying the representation, and how have you think, like, for the most part, the series has been holding strong for you since episode 1, or have you felt any dips at all?
Yeah, definitely. I actually went and rewatched episode 1 yesterday just for funsies because we've obviously come quite a long way since the show has started, and it's crazy to see like how much has happened in such a short period of time. I didn't even realize watching the first episode that it was like so much happening. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I was just like, oh, that first day they're just, texting and trying to go to AvengerCon, and now it's like time travel and other crazy things. So, I'm really impressed and enjoying kind of how the story has progressed so far.
Cool beans. Well, listen, before we kind of dive deep into the episode. In this episode, we do see Kamala go back in time where she gets to meet her great-grandmother. And I want to know if both of you, at some point in time, could go back in time to meet any relative, who would you want to spend a day with? Meg, why don't you go first?
Well, I have a very special sort of connection to somebody who I never actually got to meet. My dad's dad passed away right before I was born. So I get to see him in like home movies, very old home movies, and things from when my brother was really little. So like hearing his voice is really cool, because just seeing pictures for a long time and now like scraping out VHSs and like finding a VHS player so I can watch those things. It's really, really interesting to find similarities and things that I know I would have loved about him. So I think he's somebody that I would really just love to spend one day with.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love, it's funny when, like, it's just crazy to think that, like, you can hear these people's voices back again, and just be like, there was a whole other person a part of this family at one point. And to kind of almost get to meet them, that would be super dope. Joe, how about yourself? Who is a relative that you'd like to go back in time and just chill with?
Honestly, I did know all my grandparents and stuff growing up. I was blessed in that aspect, but I was just inspired by the episode to think, like, I don't really know a lot of my family tree. So, like, I wouldn't know who to pick specifically, but I would love to meet someone just from my family from a long time ago, just to see, like, how they came to Guyana. Because, like, I know West Indian culture is Indian people moving to the West. So, like, maybe they have a partition story. I don't know. Maybe they'd be able to kind of, show you a few things, be like, hey, did you know all this stuff happened? You'd be like, what? This wasn't in the show. This isn't my show.
Wait a minute. Yeah, we definitely need to get, I think it would be awesome to get a Guyanese superhero at some point. It would be awesome. I mean, listen, Marvel, just get, I want to learn about so many different cultures. And I think that's one of the best things about this show, is that we get to learn about culture, and it's so respectfully done. I've had so many people, friends of mine, who are of Islamic faith and are brown and from India, and so many of them just kind of gush about those aspects of the show, and I think
especially this
it's definitely
episode.
One of its strengths. Oh, especially this episode. We'll get into it. I will just quickly chime in. For me, I'd love to just chill and hang out with my grandpa back in Ireland. He died when I was younger, and to see him in his 20s or 30s, I've seen it in pictures, but to get to hang out with him, like, I just want to know, like, what did people back then in Ireland do for fun? Like, probably there was some drinking going on. Not my grandpa, because, well, actually, maybe my grandpa.
You don't know. You weren't there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe he lied about it. Like, my grandparents, they're very, they're Christian and very strict and all that stuff, but, like, he could have partied down. I would love to see that. I mean, we kind of get a sense of that with Muniba in this episode as well. So if I got to learn about, like, my grandpa's rebellious stages, let's go, dude. Me and Douglas would just be ripping up the streets of Ireland. That would be amazing. Well, listen, before we try to enter back into our realm, but then get turned into scary, spooky skeletons, let's dive into this week's episode. Okay, so after the previously on, again this week written in English and then Urdu, we start off this week's episode with the Marvel fanfare over a classic Bollywood track called Tumera Chand. And as the fanfare changes from color to sepia tone, we see it turn into a 4:3 aspect ratio, and we get a history lesson on the British colonization of India and the partition of India and Pakistan. Then we cut to Aisha in 1942 running from the British forces that were attacking the tomb where she discovered the bangle. She manages to stop one by throwing a dagger deep into his chest. We then see Hassan preaching the words of Mahatma Gandhi until British officers forcefully break up the gathering. The next morning, Hassan wakes a sleeping Aisha in his rose garden, and after threatening to break his leg, he offers to have her stay in his cabin if she needs. He eventually wins her over with his cooking, and together they put a bun in her oven. So, friends, I mean, that's what happens. So, right? So let's stop there. What did we think of this opener taking us back in time to learn, both about Kamala's family history and India's history in general?
Yeah, I literally, the first words that came out of my mouth when it turned to the actual filming and cast and everything after the history lesson, I was like, well, there's a little bit of history I don't know, because we are not taught anything about world history when we're in school. It's all Canadian and actually a lot of American history, and Americans don't learn about us. So I think that's really contradictory, but it's so fascinating to learn about things that, I was aware that Britain had a hold on India for a long time, but I did not know the circumstances those people were in, and the partition being such a pivotal moment in India's history. And I think they really paid an incredible tribute and respect to that in a Marvel show. For the people who don't take Marvel seriously, hold my beer.
Absolutely.
That's what Marvel's saying with this stuff. So
absolutely.
I'm amazed by it, and I loved it, and I want more of it.
It was so cool. Joe, what did you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of on that same note, I mentioned I went back and watched the first episode. There's kind of a really quick, not throwaway line, but it happened so fast that I didn't catch it the first time. Her best friend,
Nakia,
thank you. Nakia basically says, she's packing up her bags and she's like, we get six weeks on Greece history and 6 minutes on Indian history or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's true. American school systems teach you kind of what they want you to know based on the fact that you live in America. Yeah. And they probably learn more about their, obviously, culture and history from their families. Every Indian family has a partition story, and you've heard it, a million times. You learn more about your own culture from your family, obviously, but maybe, like Megan said, being Caucasian, maybe she has never heard a partition story from her Indian relatives. So
absolutely,
yeah, it's kind of nice. The same way Moon Knight brought in a lot of real Egyptian culture and actual history that we're experiencing. The MCU is picking pieces to use that to be relatable in the world that we actually live in, which I think is very beneficial and also really just cool to see.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Marvel is just absolutely nailing it with this. The only thing I will say about specifically this opening, not the show, but this opening, it started off strong. I did think it was a bit weird that it was a British voice over the content, because if this was really something that was made in 1947, it probably would have been more in favor of the British Empire, and they probably wouldn't have been it sounded more like the way that the Emperor, right? The way that I sort of think of it is maybe it was a British rebellion group, right? Because obviously there had to have been, I can't believe, I haven't looked into it, but I can't believe that there weren't British people that might have been against. Yeah, absolutely, right? So that would be my only thought for that being more realistic. But I gotta say, the Miss Marvel titles flashing, showing the backgrounds going back in time. One of them, if you stop, by the way, says Marvel Studios presents a Sloth Baby production, 1947. And it's over a globe, so it kind of looks like an old Universal logo, which is just so rad. And I think, honestly, if Kevin Feige and the team ever get bored of telling stories in the present of the MCU, give us more of these historical moments within the MCU framework. I think, to what we're kind of talking about, it's a great way to get people interested, and then they can then go and seek out this information for themselves and see it without kind of through the lens of a superhero story. But I think the show has done such a good job of showing us that Marvel can be respectful and informative with real life events, and that it's not just, it's not glamorizing them in any way. It's just informing you by placing these characters within these times. I think it's just fantastic. I think it really plays into what Marvel Comics were always originally about. And I think Stan would be really proud of this show. I think it'd be really lovely.
Cry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, well, listen, a cool thing. I thought it was cool that Aisha used a dagger. That was her weapon of choice. right? Obviously inspiring the Red Daggers as a group. And the only other thing I will say, for as fast as they moved for this opening between these two characters of Aisha and Hassan, like the chemistry was off the wall. Like, honestly, like, these are two famous Bollywood actors. Aisha is played by Muish Hayat. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And Hassan is played by Fawad Khan. And I got to say, I've never been so tempted to, as someone who's not gotten into Bollywood movies, to start watching some Bollywood movies, because are you kidding me? Like, if this is what I could expect between these actors, dude, sign me up. Sign me up.
There's some gold in there for sure.
Oh my gosh, they're absolutely. It's one of the biggest. It's. I think it's bigger than Hollywood, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably.
100%.
Right.
Listen, I got some Bollywood recommendations if you want them. I'll hit you up later.
Let's go. There's a new one. There's a new one on Netflix that I have. Everyone is talking about, called RRR. That I need to check out. Apparently, it's like a Marvel like level of production quality Bollywood movie with like action and everything. Anyways, I'm super down to check all that stuff out. I'd love your recommendations, Joe. Okay, so then we see stages of Sana's life as she grows from a little baby to a toddler. And her parents experience the division firsthand as their friend Rohan comes to deliver some food. And then Hassan exclaims that because he's Muslim, both him and his wife have been ostracized within their community. Aisha calms Hassan down. And then at the door, she sees an old friend standing in the rose garden where she once laid. She approaches Najma, who embraces her with a hug and tells her she has until sundown tomorrow to get the bangle. So let's pause here. Do you think Najma already made up her mind regarding Aisha in that moment when they met? Or do you think she was honestly hoping that her friend would give up her earthly life? What do you think?
Not a chance. There's no way. She was like, yeah, you have until sundown. Like, that's so ominous. You don't tell your friends that you're like, hey, you borrowed my book. Can I have it back? Like, you wouldn't be like, you have until sundown on Tuesday to get it to me.
Which, speaking of which, you have some of my amiibo, Joe. You have until sundown to get me those amiibo back, okay?
Sundown, February 30th.
Yes. Set a reminder, 2028. But no, like, totally. I got mad, like, frenemy vibes from this moment, especially just with the music and everything. I don't know. Meg, what did you think? Do you think she was, like, ready to just take her out right there?
Well, I also wonder, again, I'll probably have to go back and watch the episode, but is it episode 3 that starts off with them in that, like, cave and they find the blue arm with the bangle on it?
Yes.
I wonder if even there was any tension. Again, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But, like, Aisha, seeing Najma in that field, she wasn't like, oh my God, my friend.
Right.
Like, even she was like,
shit.
Fuck. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
She was like, shit, she's here. Like,
Totally.
they're not friends. There's definitely been some hesitation there and some tension. Yep. I think part of it is Najma, which wishes that she grabbed the bangle before Aisha did,
Totally.
So
yeah I also think she's I think Najma is kind of jealous as well in that moment, not just of the bangle, but of what Aisha's found. And I think she had other plans in mind other than just going home. And I will elaborate on that later. But continuing on here, Aisha exclaims to Hassan that they need to leave as Muslims' homes are being burnt down across the country and that it's not safe for Sana. They quickly make their way to Karachi Station, where we see Aisha reveal to Hassan her secret with the magic bangle. And she does that magical thing that puts the inscription on there of the poem it was so beautiful. She begs him to take Sana with him on the last train as she runs to confront Najma. Najma calls her a traitor and stabs her, claiming she'll find the bangle if it's the last thing she does. Aisha says it won't work. She's like, it's not going to work, dude. What are you doing? Sana loses her way, and Hassan yells for Sana, and then Sana herself is yelling for Ami and Abu, and I was like, oh no! And then Aisha uses her magic to call upon someone, as we see Kamala pushing through the crowds. She finds Aisha, and in her dying breath, she tells Kamala, "You have everything that you need," and hands her a photograph. Kamala eventually finds the young Sana and helps her get back to her father as she creates little platforms for Sana to hop, pop, pop across. One breaks and splits into floating light. Hassan finds his daughter through the light. They board the train, and Kamala is transported right back to modern day Karachi.
Could you imagine if she was just trapped there?
Well, that would be a wholly different story.
Show.
Yeah, we'd need another season to get through. But I do like that idea.
Yeah.
Listen, that is a lot. Let's talk about this. So I think a couple things here. What did you think of Aisha's sacrifice? And do you think it was Sana who manipulated those stars, or was she just kind of being like a little kid and just being like pushing them around in the sky? Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that she was definitely manipulating them. I think that magic runs through her, and how Najma said that both Kamala and Kamran have this dual being because they're both from Earth and from the Noor dimension in their blood. Everyone in Aisha's bloodline will now be that of some form or another, or maybe it's just the women, or who knows. But I think 100%, I don't think Sana knew what she was doing, but I think that there was something about it that was oh, for sure she's reaching for her father, and those little stars found her way. Also, Aisha's sacrifice is obviously beautiful. It's an incredible moment for Kamala to have with her great-grandmother that she would never have met if she wasn't a superhero. So, that moment was really meaningful. The picture is obviously meaningful in so many ways, as we will talk about later. But totally. I really loved this whole scenario.
Such a beautiful performance by Iman Vellani as well, I think, in this moment. Getting to kind of really see because she's kind of quirky and says funny things, but to see the level of distress in her eyes in that moment, I think it's just that aspect of she just lost what she feels is her last chance at any direction of what to do next. And I think, I think that line of Aisha just saying, "You have everything you need," handing her that photo was to remind her that she's already got her family. She's got, what she was seeking. She's already got it. And it's kind of interesting because, what she's seeking is seeking her. Literally, that's what's happening in that moment. Her mom and Muniba, or her grandma and Muniba are trying to find her. And so it works on so many levels. And I just, at least that's how I kind of understood it. But I think the fact that she called her Sana, I think, was her thinking that maybe it was future Sana, or, because she wouldn't know Kamala necessarily. And obviously she could imagine what her daughter would grow up to look like. And obviously because it would run in the family, but they were both connected through the bangle. So I think maybe the fact that Sana in that moment had granted the same bangle, just the same one through time, I think she did not maybe push that stuff around. I will say her eyes weren't glowing purple, so I kind of was confused by that. I wasn't sure, because maybe you guys have to glow purple. I don't know. The rules are a little wishy-washy. But Joe, what did you think of this moment between Aisha and Sana also finding her daddy?
Oh my God. I think that's the first time that I cried watching the show when she was like, I can't do stars, sweetie, but I can do circles. And I was like, I was like, oh my God, I love that so much. That line is my favorite line in the whole show.
Yeah.
But good. Yeah, obviously everything that you guys said, I fully agree with that. I was thinking, just as we were talking about it, her mom never, Muniba never showed any magical gift or anything. Is it, I guess, because she didn't have access to the bangle?
My only thought by that is she she was so, like, her whole reason for leaving Karachi and leaving her mom, which I think we learned in the previous episode, was because she just was so against those stories that her mom would tell, those fantastical stories.
Right.
And obviously the bangle probably would have come up at some point, and she probably was so repulsed by it, she didn't even want to even touch it. She put it in a box, she locked it away. Exactly. Yes, 100%. That's a great way of looking at it.
Good analogy. I like it.
Yeah. So I think that might be why she was so she had no idea of sort of what was going on.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly thought it was so beautiful. I love the notion of, like, you know, things in the past being affected by something in the future without knowing it. Yes, like the whole, like, totally. Hermione time turner thing. Like, it was her who helped herself. So, like, her family only exists in the way that it does now because she, in the future, went back to fix something. Like, I just love that kind of story. I think it's so cool.
The fact that it was Kamala who would always finish that story when they were telling the partition story. Like, they've probably told that story so many times, and then at the dinner table, she is the one to finish the story because she literally is the one who finishes that part of the story. It's just so dope. And I know it's like, it's such a time travel trope thing of, like, the time loop, and so many creators use that trope. It still hasn't gotten old for me. Every time they do it, I'm still like, whoa. Even though
never mind. Yeah, you keep doing it.
It's so good.
It works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here. Back in current time, we see that the veil has been opened as light is streaming from it. Quick cut to Muniba freaking out that her daughter isn't picking up the phone. Something that I'm sure, all of our parents can probably relate to. I think.
Yes. At one point or another.
At one point or another. And then Muniba, I love seeing her learn about the Find My phone function, which is like, why did nobody tell me about this? It's like spyware for parents or something. I love it. I love that she knows what spyware is, but she doesn't quite know what Find My is. I think she's again kind of fits into her rebellious nature. She got into tech probably pretty early, but she hasn't kept up with it.
I think that Kamala is probably very happy that she didn't know about that feature until right now.
True. Absolutely. Yeah, they're going to be tracking her through a Zuzu next season or something. So then Fariha attempts to enter the veil, and we see her body engulfed in a purple rock-like substance as she breaks into pieces with her skeleton falling to the ground. Kamala and Kareem save some bystanders as she begs Najma to stay back. Najma says she can make it, and Kamala reminds her that she still has Kamran. Najma agrees with Kamala, saying there's only one way and that she can close it. The same thing happens to her as she whispers Kamran's name, and we see a light find its way all the way back to Kamran in Jersey City. He lights up, and his fist glows. So let's stop here again. Really quick, guys. What do you think actually happened with Najma here? Do you think she is dead? What did she do to Kamran?
I don't know what she did to Kamran, though I'm sure it's connected to the comic book somehow. But I also don't think that she's dead. I think that they're from the Noor dimension, and Noor means light. I think their human forms died, but I think they turned back to their light forms.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I'm on the same
100%.
page. Right? We're all feeling that. I think she entered I think Fariha entered the Noor dimension, left her earthly form behind, like you said. Obviously Jinn don't look like we do, I don't think. And so I think Najma didn't enter the Noor dimension. I think she closed the veil for now. But I think she transferred herself into Kamran, giving him his powers. Because, as I was saying earlier, I think Najma fell in love. I think Najma fell in love as well. I think she fell in love with Earth. I think she, not necessarily Earth itself, but the space itself. I think she wants it. I think her goal was always to open the veil and expand her dimension, taking over through an incursion event. And I don't know. I've got another theory that kind of goes against this. I'm going to save it to the end. But Joe, did you have any other thoughts as to what kind of was going on there?
Well, my brain did two things. Again, it made another Harry Potter reference where I was like, what is it, like flu powder? you just turn into light and speak the name of the person you want to inhabit, and then you're there. And it's like,
there
did you say diagonally?
100%. 100%. Yeah, good thing she didn't say, like, Cameron.
Yeah,
right?
Just
some other guy named Cameron.
Just some white kid from the school, and he's like, whoa.
What's going on? Totally.
But yeah, I agree. I think they probably left their, like, earthly form behind. If they are, like, their soul or whatever term that you'd like to use for that, is kind of just being housed maybe in Cameron's body, because he doesn't have any sort of, like, bangle or mystical tool to harness that power. So
yeah.
I'm not totally sure.
Right. Maybe actually touching the Noor, maybe that did something that allowed her to, I don't know. The rules are a little up in the air for this series. And I think for the MCU in general, especially around time travel, a lot of people talking about like, oh, they're breaking all the time travel rules. I'm like, listen, you know what? Just enjoy it.
There's no rules.
Yeah,
it's all fictional.
Has anybody done this in real life? No.
Right. But I think if that was Najma's death, super lame, very anticlimactic.
No, yeah.
I think with lines like "I can do it," I just honestly, the clandestines, I think there was so much from this series that was probably cut from them that made them feel like I would care about them. So I don't know. I think it's like they should have chosen either clandestines or DODC, but not both. I think might have been kind of they might have tried to stuff too much into 6 episodes. But
well, and also your idea of Najma loving Earth and like wanting to take it over gives her more of a reason to be a bad guy. Like,
right,
it makes a lot more sense. So I would then go back watching it if that is the case, and maybe enjoy the aspects of her and the clandestines a little bit more. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
Because I mean, even earlier scenes with the clandestines, they've embraced this planet. I mean, you see the one guy looking at Zoe Zimmer's pizza or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. And you see him like watching that video, and like I think they all actually enjoy it and want to kind of own it. But let's keep going here. Muniba and Sana find Kamala and discover that she is that light girl. I love how her mom just says, "You're that light girl," which provides so much confirmation for Sana and surprised Muniba, who is just absolutely shocked. Kamala gives her nanny the picture she got from Aisha, and before they head home, Kamala says her goodbyes to Kareem as he lets Kamala know that he'd be really proud of her, referring to Waleed, and that he's just a call away, as he gives her his red scarf. I feel like him saying "I'm just a call away" was the actor being like Kevin Feige, "I'm just a call away, okay? Whatever you need, get me back in." Muniba then discovers Kamala's broken necklace on the ground, and it's now in the shape of a lightning bolt. So, do you think we'll ever see Kareem again? And what do you think this means now that all 3 generations are fully aware of the magic that runs in their family?
I would like to hope that we'll see Kareem again. He was introduced obviously very quickly, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm like adorable and nice, goodbye," and then he ran away.
I know.
Yeah.
And we were introduced, like you said, to an entire group of people, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense if they never get referenced or come up again. I would hope that his only purpose wasn't to provide her a scarf for her costume, but you never know with Marvel. Sometimes that might be it.
He's the scarf guy.
Yeah, you know, like she got a vest from one person, a scarf from another person. She's like the Cinderella of Marvel heroes. She just gets little mice to give her little pieces for her outfit.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I just want to say though, like regarding Kareem, I love, and I feel like probably the both of you could probably relate to this one as well. I love that even after seeing Kamala shoot hard light from her hands and closing a veil to another dimension, Kamala's mom's first question is, "Who is that boy?" Who is that boy?
That's my favorite part.
Priority
like,
one,
not
okay.
concerned with the light or the shields.
Nothing. No. Who's that boy?
Also, they got there surprisingly fast, having just learned about this
Find My
children
app.
spyware situation.
Yeah. I mean, but you got to imagine Sana's probably got Karachi down to the back of her. She knows.
Oh, yeah.
She knows those streets, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, like, on the aspect of like who's that boy in the comic books, that pretty much is like a running gag. So seeing it turn up here was awesome again. Just getting to see Muniba just like that's her focus, and like there's even one point in the comics, without spoiling anything, where they're literally in the middle of a war zone, and Muniba does the same thing.
Who's that boy?
She's just like, who's that boy? No, I loved it. I'd love to see Kareem again. I thought they translated his character really well. I thought Aramis Knight did a great job. With Waleed gone, somebody's got to take up the leadership role of the Red Daggers. So getting him in like a Thunderbolts, I think, would be kind of neat. But if it literally just means coming back to Karachi at some point within the MCU,
I hope so.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kareem was great. I think he was a really fun, like almost sidekick, but also teaching her how to be powerful and giving her that confidence was so fun. And like even a couple episodes ago last episode, their little like fight sequence was super cute and fun and like clumsy. So I hope we see him again, and I hope it's like a more refined Kareem who's taken over leadership of the Red Dagger. Yeah. And speaking to the 3 generations now being very aware of the magic.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued how Kamala's mom is going to tell her dad.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
what's
yeah.
that conversation going to be like? I want to see
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They were all surprisingly calm also. They're just like,
I know.
I guess we're
Okay,
magic. Let's have dinner.
I want both of you to read the G. Willow Wilson run of Miss Marvel so bad. But then there's a run after that that there's basically sort of like a 1-2 punch with that moment that you just described. It's phenomenal. Anyways, I won't spoil it.
You send it our way.
I'm just saying you got to check it out. And I couldn't find the QR code for the comic book in this episode. I tried looking, but I didn't think there'd be a QR code in 1942 Karachi.
Yeah,
so
probably not.
Probably
you
not.
never know.
You never know. They might have found a way. Maybe that's where QR codes came from.
It's like etched into the side of a building, like in the rock.
The first QR code. And then between Kareem giving her the scarf and Muniba finding the necklace, we got to believe that her final outfit, which we're going to see in this new episode, I think her mom is going to make it for her, which is so fitting, pun intended, because I think like she made that Hulk costume like we said, and I love the idea that her costume is made up of things she received or collected from the people that had the biggest impact on her, like Bruno, Kareem, Waleed, and her mom. I just think it's perfect. I would love if like her Nani gave her something to also put in I don't know, just
she gave her the
whole
bangle.
aspect of it. Oh, she did. Yeah, I guess she did. So there we go. That's one of the biggest parts.
Nani's on the phone.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah.
I sent the bangle.
How could I miss her? And speaking of Nani, just before we move on, I got super choked up when Sana holds up the picture that Kamala gives her, and she just says, Ami, Abu, and I was like, oh my God.
I gotta say, some of my favorite performances of this show, Iman Vellani is fantastic. She's super fun.
Yeah.
Bruno's great. Love the kids in this show. The adult, like, parent figures in this show are some of my favorite Marvel performances in, like, the series format that they've done. I love these scenes, and, like, one of my favorite scenes was the scene between Kamala's mom and her grandmother in a couple episodes ago. So, like, seeing them connect, and then Sana's reaction to this photo, and you can just feel the love, and it's so beautiful.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. That brought me back. I'm trying to remember the exact line that is said from Sheikh Abdullah. I can't remember which episode it's in. It might be in episode 2 or maybe 3, but it's basically he just tells Kamala, I'm going to look it up. Give me one second.
Is it good as...
Yes, good is something...
Good is something you do, not something you are.
Right. And to me, that moment from him was so phenomenal. And Darcy brought it up in the sense of like, that's her Uncle Ben saying, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm just like,
it's the brown version.
Exactly. Absolutely. Let's go.
But that can be applied to like a multitude of things, right?
Absolutely.
Just like with great power comes great responsibility. It's like, no, you got to be good or do good things.
Yeah.
Obviously,
100%.
you're a human being. We have good things and bad things about ourselves. Do good things.
Me and my partner just looked at each other and went, just because you're a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy.
There you go. It's a universal
full circle.
Thing. Full circle. Absolutely. All right. Well, after a really touching scene where we learn more of Muniba's rebellious era following, where she followed Bruce Bon Jovi, and we see all three women share a breakthrough as they come together for a hug. We then leave Karachi as we see Bruno confronted by Kamran. The two head up to his room where they awkwardly share interests, and Kamran learns Bruno's actual name. And just as he brings up damage control, Kamran sees a DODC drone floating outside the bedroom window. He tells Bruno that he's been followed and that they need to go as he proceeds to use his new powers to shoot the drone. The drone's like, not so fast, and then it shoots a missile into the Circle Q below them, blowing it up as Bruno shouts, "You have powers too?" And the episode abruptly ends. So before we get to our overall thoughts and rating for this episode, let's get to our prediction segment, which we call, "This may be a stretch, but..." So again, for Joe, if you're joining us, you have to say that before you're allowed to speak. For your prediction, okay? So, ladies, what are your thoughts on this final scene? Do we trust Kamran? And do you have any final predictions for what's going to happen in this finale?
Well, I know that there's been references throughout this watch club to the fact that in the comic books, Kamran's not a good guy. And this may be a bit of a stretch, but I think he's going to be an accomplice. I think he's going to be like with Miss Marvel, and they're gonna do cool stuff with their prismatic powers together. At least that's what I hope they do.
Yeah, that's what you want. You're like, I just want everyone to be okay.
I want to bake a cake made of rainbows and
a hard light cake made of rainbows. I love it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any other spicy thoughts from any of you?
Yeah, I mean, this might be a stretch, but when I was watching the time travel portion where she got blasted back into the past, and I was watching the little tiny stars and everything, I was like, oh, maybe she'll be in the past and borrow the bangle and take it with her, and then she'll have two bangles, and then she could have both. And then harness the power she was supposed to have, because there's supposed to be two bangles, I assume. So I don't really know totally how that would play out, but my brain was like, oh, maybe she'll take both, like they did with the Infinity Stones, and maybe she can put it back. I don't know. I don't really know how it works, but
That's intriguing. I think that's actually interesting because, if Najma can do what she needs to do with one bangle,
there you go.
Imagine with two, how much that would drive her. Okay, well, I mean, listen, this may be a stretch, but I think we're going to see one of two things. I think kind of what I was talking about earlier. If Najma is just dead, that sucks. That's not going to be, that can't be it. I think the DODC will be our big bad at the end, but why infuse Kamran with those powers if that's the case? I think Najma in that moment realized she can only open the veil further with Kamran. So she transferred herself into his body, kind of like Professor Quirrell, but without the weird back of the head stuff.
Guys, this is just Harry Potter.
Because you're on the podcast, Megan. It's just because you're here. I thought you bring the Potter energy, right? So I don't think that we're gonna see Najma's face on the back of Kamran's bald head. I certainly hope not. But I feel like the motto for this series of sort of, especially this episode, what you seek is seeking you. I think that might also refer to Najma. Whereas, maybe, she's controlling Kamran. She realizes her home has been seeking her this entire time. It's already with her. It's her son, right? And I think maybe
so
she comes to this realization too late, and it's a tragic thing. Like I want to both like and also hate Najma. I want to feel something for Najma, and I just
she's so scary.
Yeah, I mean,
she just looks like a villain. She just looks like she was born to like crush people's flower beds. Like,
I would love to see it beyond just the look of her, but otherwise, I am also sticking to my theory that the DODC never fully intended to harm Kamala or her friends, and I say fully intended because I do think Agent Deaver, who's that rude DODC woman who wore her shoes in the mosque, and then I love Sheik Abdullah, was like, yo, bitch, get your shoes off. Yeah. and then, but Agent Cleary, who is her partner, who was asking Deaver to be respectful, I still think he's actually a Skrull. I think he's a good Skrull, and I think he stops her, and I think we're gonna get that reveal of him being a Skrull. And I think he's going to introduce Kamala to Nick Fury, because Iman Vellani did say in an interview that she had met Samuel L. Jackson. Now, that could be while they were filming The Marvels, absolutely, but that was the one that was fresh on her mind when they asked her, like, who have you met so far from the MCU? She said Samuel L. So I think that's going to be the case. Do you think we'll see Miss Marvel... Captain Marvel? Do you think we're going to see Brie Larson in this series? No?
I don't think so. No. If it's
anybody... we saved that for the movie.
Yeah, if it's anybody, it's either Nick Fury or Photon Monica.
Yes.
Like,
could be
those
Monica
are the
Rambeau.
two options of, like, her being, used or taken or whatever. I also wonder if there's going to be any connection to Shang-Chi with this situation because of the rings and the bangle
and the bangles, and we see the 10
rings references. Yeah, I'm really intrigued. I hope so.
That would be interesting.
I think
maybe
that's
Wong
asking
just
a lot.
shows up.
You think it's asking a lot?
Joe's like, guys, calm down.
I think that's asking a lot for the show. I think they've already tried to squeeze so much into such a short period of time.
For sure. Season two.
Yeah, at least season 2, or like maybe the beginning of like Miss Marvels. They can like kind of do like what they did with, I guess no spoilers, Doctor Strange. I assume
that's
that
okay.
Everyone...
we're allowed to spoil anything and everything from the MCU.
Okay, I assume that people have watched it at this point also. But just like at the beginning of Doctor Strange, they just kind of like ran right into it head first, and they were like, I'm going to introduce characters and powers and time jumping all in like a 2-minute span. So they could very easily have a very like dramatic entrance where like all of a sudden we'll be like, time has passed. We'll get like a Star Wars scroll, and they'll be like, this has happened. Now they know each other. Merry Christmas.
Well, and I also think back again to that end credit scene in Shang-Chi. Captain Marvel is there when they're saying, we need your help. And she's like, never heard of this thing that they're talking about. I can't really remember the details, but she's there. So there very well could be a connection. That's possible.
I have one more theory.
Do it.
And I think that this series will not lead us directly into the Marvels. That movie comes out in 2023. We still have another streaming series show. Disney's going to do a whole other streaming service just for Marvel.
Just Marvel Plus.
Yeah, Marvel Plus. I mean, don't give them any ideas, okay? We're going to spend enough money on Disney stuff. But I think, with the Marvels coming out in 2023, we've got another streaming show, Secret Invasion, which deals, again, I bring them up, the Skrulls. I think that this is going to lead directly into Secret Invasion. And I think this is my wild card prediction. We get a title card at the end. Miss Marvel will return in Secret Invasion. Like the text will change, turn green or something. I think it would be really, really cool. But I think if anything, whatever the plan is for Miss Marvel going forward, obviously we're going to see more in the finale. And we're also going to find out very soon with Marvel attending Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con on July 23rd. All the future will be revealed. Kevin Feige texted me yesterday. He was like, yo, Nate. Yeah, he's like, Nate, listen, bro, you're going to I can't even tell you, but you're going to be like, it's mind-blowing. It's crazy.
You're going to poo yourself.
Yes,
All
that's
right,
what he said.
Kev.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, let's get to our final thoughts and score, which for this episode, we're going to be rating on a scale of 1 to 5 exploded circle cues. Whoa. Megan.
I loved this episode from beginning to end. I had a sort of like downward fluctuation of episodes, so gave a super high score to the first episode. Would have given it higher if it wasn't the first episode. I was like, don't want to set my expectations too high. And I sort of did, because it faltered for me through 2, 3, and 4. But this one punched me right back in the face with incredible Indian history and culture, this time travel, getting to really understand who Aisha was, and the way she connected with somebody from Earth to continue a family lineage. Kamala Aman Vellani had some incredible performance moments in this episode as well. I was starting to get a little bit tired of her like goofy teenage self, so I'm happy that we got a little more depth. I love her. She's great, but I was like, okay, some more for something else maybe.
What else you got?
Yeah. So, and she gave that to us in this episode. I can't say anything but good things about it. I'm going to give it a 4.8 out of 5 exploded circle cues. Because it's the penultimate. If it's I can't give anything a perfect score.
Oh my gosh, you definitely can. Just FYI.
Joe, are you giving it a perfect score? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm just going with our regular kind of rating system, where if I didn't have like a problem with anything, I don't have to deduct points for any reason. So I would, probably. I mean, I want to give it a 0 exploding circle cues, because no circle cues should explode.
Like, dude, Bruno cannot catch a break this season. Come on, calling him Brian all the time.
Brian is
his
mad.
only source of income is gone, dude.
That's his house. Also, he lives above the circle cue.
You got to imagine, like, there's going to be a lot of problems now with the plumbing. There's
poor guy, man. Hopefully he has insurance, but
I think he's just going to leave and go to school. I think he's just going to leave. He's like, all right, that does it.
Problem.
I'm going to that school. Yeah, I'm out.
I'm gonna open a new circle queue. I would probably also give it a 5. My only like sadness about it is something that I really, really liked from the first episode, and I remembered how much I liked it after rewatching it, was all of the little like drawn in nuggets. So like the text in the stars on her bedroom wall, and you know the sad face and the neon lights in the window and all that stuff. Like that was so cool to me in that first episode. And obviously like the more marvelly it gets, the less unique to the story it is. But I would have loved to see more of that sort of thing, but I'm not faulting it for that. Obviously they didn't necessarily fit per se in here, but maybe I don't know, they could have done it with like the Find My
rose
iPhone
petals
stuff, or like something,
right?
Like,
even like he has a thought and it's in the roses or something. Beautiful.
But I mean that's very like not 19 or what was it, 1942? 1942. Like that's not very relevant or necessary to that time period. So again, I don't fault it for that, but I loved seeing like the artwork on the buildings as they were like Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel,
kind of stuff.
That sort of thing is so cool, and I love seeing that because it does definitely highlight like her as a character and who she is as a person. So no faults for that, but I miss it a little bit is what I was trying to get at, I guess. Yeah. Okay. But other than that, I would give it a 5. There's nothing wrong with it. I loved every minute of it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think I enjoyed this episode quite a bit more than the last one. I think, Megan, my trajectory of sort of my feeling of the show has kind of gone along with you as well, where like the first 2 episodes I was super hot on, and then 3 and 4 dipped down, and then this one is bringing me back up. I think it really has to do with the fact of like getting even more of Kamala's family history. I think the show is so good and so special, and it continues to set the standard for really what representation and representing and presenting a culture in ways that are respectful but also engaging. I think they're setting the standard. Like all other shows going forward, I don't care what kind of show you are, watch Miss Marvel and you'll kind of have a good sense of like, okay, that's how it's done, which I think is fantastic. And I think this episode highlights that quite a bit, and that kind of brought my score up for me. I think I enjoyed Aisha and Hassan's relationship so much. I would have watched an entire episode of them if we had the chance. I love that Kamala was the one to close the loop. I love that we got to see these 3 generation of women coming together, coming to this realization that they can trust each other more, and that if they ever held on too tight or didn't hold on long enough, it was only because they weren't ready. And I just think it's such a beautiful message of just the way that it works from generation to generation is just gorgeous. I will say, again, the villains in this series are the weakest part, and I really hope Najma can be redeemed in the next episode. And I don't mean redeemed like she turns good. I mean, I want her to actually have a purpose outside of just pushing our main characters along. I think the entire group of clandestines were intriguing at the start, especially when she's in the back of that car. You're like, oh, look at her. Then she got that villain face. Oh, but she became so boring, and they all became so boring. So I think we'll just have to wait and see what they do with Kamran and sort of how they bring this to a close with just one more episode. I am getting a little scared, give the fact that they gave Kamran the blue version of Kamala's powers. Like, are we going to be able to avoid the trope of like the Marvel thing of like the big bads the big bad at the end is just a copy of our hero with a different color? Like, are we going to be able to get away from that? I thought we could, maybe not. I don't know. So I hope it's not that. I hope it's not a big giant CGI fight. I would love them to try and do something different. I will say my favorite episode of the series so far, which is episode 1, was directed by Adil and Bilal, and they're doing the finale. So I have hope that we are going to really see this through and just bring it all the way up to 5. But yeah, again, there's so much in this series and in this episode that I loved. So I'm going to still give this episode a 4 out of 5 exploded circle Qs. And I left one circle Q intact in one version of the multiverse so that Bruno is okay.
Aww.
That version of Bruno, even though his name might be Brian in that version. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, that is about it for another Watch Club. This was a lot of fun. Before we wrap up, Joe, Megan, it's always a pleasure to have you on these episodes. For our listeners who might want to keep up with you, where can they go? Where can they click? Where can they subscribe to hear you again, or even possibly see your lovely faces? Joe, how about you kick it off here?
Yeah, I do feature usually on Twitch with It's Your Girl Alyssa. So that would be twitch.tv/itsyourgirlalyssa. That's probably the safest place that you'll see me most often. We stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays around 9 p.m. EST. Other than that, that's probably your safest option to find me.
I mean, I heard hints. Are we going to get another podcast episode? Is the podcast coming back? I want to hear more of the Video Dames.
Yes. Yeah. So we are Video Dames, the podcast. It's me, Alyssa, our friend Alex, and then also Megan. We are looking to start back up again. So we are Video Dames, the podcast. I'm pretty sure you can find us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Yeah.
We'll have all the links. Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. Very soon.
I got to say, probably my favorite episode of your podcast is the one where you pitch, I think it's TV shows into video games or things into video games. And like, dude, Supernatural video game, especially with him showing up on The Boys recently.
Oh
like,
my
I just want it so bad. So good. Very cool. Yeah, we'll have all those links in the description of this episode as well. And I will say there is a certain kind of thrill when either Joe or Alyssa break open a fresh pack of Pokemon cards live on stream. So if you were thinking of trying your luck and getting a Zard on stream, definitely go check out that Twitch stream. Megan, how about yourself?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Megan Clearer Draws. I am also one of the Video Dames, so check us out where you find the podcast. and is now a time that I can say,
yeah, go for it.
Also an official member of the Geekcentric podcast. So get ready. You're going to hear a lot more of me when more animated stuff comes out. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Megan, I was literally like perusing because we're trying to, we've got Disney Plus lined up for you, but we're trying to get Netflix as well, get you on that list. And like, I was looking through all the animated stuff, and I'm like, there is so much animated content on Netflix. So yeah, even going back, and if there's some animated stuff that you want to even just host something for or talk about, I think we can make it happen. Cool. Well, again, we'll have all the links for all of that stuff in this episode's description. Megan is just podcasting everywhere. She's going to be on 9 more podcasts by the end of this week. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Watch Club for Marvel's Miss Marvel. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you like to listen to podcasts, if you haven't already. And if you want to write into the show with your thoughts or predictions on the shows we cover in Watch Club, well, you can stretch your fingers out to reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. And if that's not magical enough for you, then you can also reach us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and on Instagram at wearegeekcentric. Keep in mind, we have a ton of other episodes covering the latest and greatest shows and movies out now, including our recent spoiler-free reviews for Only Murders in the Building, Season 2, Episodes 1 to 6. We have the Man from Toronto review, The Sea Beast, which I think, Megan, you got to check out. The Sea Beast. You're stoked.
Comes out tomorrow.
Yes, it does come out. As of this, when you're hearing this, it'll actually already be out. So Go check that out on Netflix. And you can also check out our spoiler-free review for Marvel's Thor, Love and Thunder. And our spoiler-filled thoughts are coming soon. And I literally just got back from the theater. Wow. So stoked to talk about it. I'm so excited. We also have a ton of other interviews we've got Disney and Pixar's Lightyear director Angus MacLean, producer Galen Sussman, and composer Michael Giacchino. We also have our interviews with directors Adil and Bilal, who, again, directed episodes 1 and 6 of Miss Marvel. And most recently, we interviewed Obi-Wan Kenobi director Deborah Chow and Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen. And there's a really sweet moment between Justin and Hayden where they discuss Star Wars fatherhood. And I wrote that question. So there you go. Definitely go check that out. It's a really sweet moment. But listen, go give those episodes a listen and a 5-star review if you don't mind. And lastly, we also have our This Week in Geek episode. I know there's so much, where Kevin and I, our most recent one, we discussed, the latest news about the sequels to Avatar. And we also talked about our thoughts on the newly announced Tiana's Bayou at the Disney parks, which we are super excited for. I'm thinking, honestly, you got to get some beignet scents. Just like a scent sprayer thing of beignet as you go down the river. I think it would be really nice. I don't know.
Actual beignets, maybe?
Okay,
I'll sit on the ride and eat my own beignets because I can't.
And then if I sit behind you, then I can. There we go.
There you go. We can share. It's fine.
Perfect.
Group effort, guys. Go team.
All right. Well, definitely check out This Week in Geek every single Wednesday for the latest on news and trailers from around the Geekiverse. Joe, Megan, thank you so much for joining me for this Watch Club. And as we say,
Cosmic.